I think a stand-up comedian's career starts long before they get the courage to put the first foot on stage. As a kid, I always played dress-ups, putting on the professionally made outfits, or the ones that you ended up making yourself. Also, I'd ended up doing performances for my family, either of miming to records or reenacting a play or a production that my mother had taken me to. A big influence when I was a kid would have been Billy Connolly, seeing his shows or listening to them. His storytelling ways interjected the jokes and it became seamless. So that was a style and a format that I really loved. I was lucky enough to meet him on the set of the movie Indecent Proposal years later when I was doing extra work in America. That was also a great time for me. I was 22, 23. Got to see a lot of fantastic actors work. I'm dancing next to Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston in The Bodyguard. To watch Jack Nicholson do a big monologue as Jimmy Hoffa, I was very lucky at that time to be able to experience those things. When I was there, I was also selling tickets for a place called The Laugh Factory. Wasn't selling as many as I was using myself, but I would find I would be watching the audience more than I'd watch the comedian, which fascinated me. The power that these comedians had on stage to make a room full of people either laugh, moan, stay silent. That was the thing that I think hooked me, was watching the audience. My first real public performance I would consider would be as best man at my brother's wedding, where I got some laughs. That then gave me the courage when I moved to Sydney to get up one night at the Comedy Store. As an open micer, you had to get 5 minutes and 5 good minutes. Then you would aim for 10. Then you would aim for 15, because 15 was generally a support spot and a paid spot. So that's what you were going for. The progression went from 15 to then 30. You could probably MC a show, and then you needed 40 plus to headline. The other thing was always to try and find 5 TV minutes. There weren't a lot of shows back on then with stand-up, sort of here and there, but no specific stand-up shows. You could do it on maybe Hey Hey at Saturday or the midday show. About 3 years in to get 5 good minutes and put it forward for In Melbourne Tonight. And did ended up doing 4 live TV spots over 2 years there in 97, 98. In Melbourne Tonight was shown live everywhere in Australia, or prime time, 9:30 on a Monday night, everywhere in Australia, except for the city I lived in, Sydney. They decided to show it at 1:30 in the morning for some reason. There were other live shows, Russell Gilbert Show and Rove Live. I've met some fantastic people through comedy. Gary Hu in particular and myself struck up a friendship, and we did collaborate on a few things. Our first one was the Daz and Gaz radio show on TV. Our next thing we did Talking Comics with Daz and Gaz, and we won the Antenna Award in Melbourne. My next project, Late Night Chat Show, and having a lot of support from behind the scenes people as well as all my guests, because they saw there was a hole in the market. Got a chance to be on the 9 Network's Go channel for a couple of series as well. You try these things, you hope that it might get a wider audience, and you think, you know what, I'm going to go into my next thing. It's been an interesting 25 years since my first gig. It was a good time then, being able to go from open mic night to support to MC to headline. That's a good path for a comedian. What's next though? Who knows?